tell me a little bit more about what you do?
I am the international advisor of the Mayor of Mexico City. I represent Mexico City in world fora and city networks like Metropolis.
Now, you were involved in the peer review of the BRT system, which we have in South Africa, but you have quite a successful BRT system in Mexico City. Tell me about yours.
Mexico City established its BRT system 6 years ago, and we have a very large network today with almost 100 kilometers, and we serve almost 200 million passengers since the beginning of the existence of our BRT. This is why we were invited by Metropolis to share our experience with other cities, notably Joburg and Berlin and Lagos. So these past 2 days we participated in a very active exchange of ideas and opinions and recommendations from a very critical but constructive point of view to see how the Ria Vaya BRT system in Joburg is working, how can it be improved. And we brought a lot of suggestions to our South African colleagues, and we also accepted a lot of suggestions from them to improve our system. So this has been a very interesting work that we have been doing these past 2 days.
The theme of the conference is caring cities. And in terms of Mexico City, one way towards you, in terms of how you've moved towards a caring city, is to start talking about policy of disarmament in terms of firearms.
Yes, Mexico City has had a very innovative approach towards firearms. You know that today, in some parts of the world, they are arming school teachers and even teaching students to protect themselves with firearms. And there is this notion that a firearm gives you security. We think exactly the opposite. We think that a firearm is a source of insecurity and a source of potential violence in the city. So we have implemented a program called For Your Family Voluntary Disarmament, which aims at getting all these illegal small firearms off the streets. In just 6 months, we have succeeded in taking 6,000 small weapons from the streets.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, especially in contrast with the record of 5,000 in 10 years. In a decade, there were 5,000, and in just 6 months, we succeeded in 6,000. Why? Because our policy towards this problem is no longer aimed at a police focus. It's a social program. We are exchanging the firearms for money, for electronic appliances, for iPads or tablets. We are also exchanging bellic toys like arrows and bows and pistols for constructive and educational toys. So it's our way of promoting a culture of peace. And it's a very social-oriented program. We talk to the family heads, the heads of households, especially women, and they convince their husbands or their friends or their family members to hand over the weapons. There is no questions asked. The weapons are destroyed. So this guarantees the complete anonymity of the person who is handing the
And you get
the
something
weapon.
in return.
You get something in return, and we have passed an agreement with the Catholic Church. Mexico is not a religious country. We are a very clear separation between the state and the church, but we do the exchange sessions in the atrium of the church, which gives the person bringing the firearm a lot of trust. They think they are in neutral territory and they know that it will not be stopped by the police.
Is it too early to say whether there's been a decrease in gun-related crime? It's only been 6 months.
It's early to say this, but I think we have already a very good indication of what this has meant as regards the perception of the population of what security is all about. So that's why I stress the fact that the program has aimed a social goal rather than just the violence. Of course, the violence, less guns on the streets means less possibility of firearm violence. But our way of constructing a peaceful culture in our society has been extremely successful. We have conducted more than 250,000 interviews on the families that have been mobilized for the program, and there is a very good perception of how this can change our view of security in the city.
Well, Eugene, thanks very much for the interview, and especially talking to us about a subject that has specific significance here. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Okay.